Hi, I got a couple of Christmas cards in the mail, and I was thinking about when I was a kid and we used to get Christmas cards from a lot of people, and we used to sit around the table and write them out for all of our relatives. And so, anyway, I was wondering, when did this whole thing start? Because nowadays it doesn't seem like very many people send them out anymore. But I found this website, this link I will have in the description box. It is a website designed by James Cooper, and he writes everything. I'll show you down here on the bottom, and this he allows us to use it as long as we give him credit. Back up to the okay, so here we go. Let's lift this up a little. Oops. Ta-da! The history of Christmas cards. The first Christmas cards. People have been sending Merry Christmas or sending Christmas greetings to each other for hundreds of years. The first recorded use of Merry Christmas was sent in a letter in 1534. The first known item that looked a bit like a Christmas card was given to King James I of England, who was also King James IV of Scotland, in 1611. This was more like a large ornamental manuscript rather than a card as we think of them today. It was 84 centimeters by 60 centimeters, or 33 inches by 24 inches, and was folded into panels. It might have been folded so it could be carried around. It had a picture of a rose in the center, and a Christmas and New Year message to the king and his son was written into and around the rose. Also on the manuscript were 4 poems and a song, so rather more than are on cards today. The custom of sending Christmas cards as we know of them today was started in the UK in 1843 by Sir Henry Cole. He was a senior civil servant, government worker, who had helped set up the new Public Record Office, which is now the post office, called the post office, where he was an assistant keeper and wondered how it could be used by more ordinary people. Here is the card. We'll go back and look at it in a minute, which is licensed under public domain via Wikimedia Commons. Sir Henry had the idea of Christmas cards with his friend John Horsley, who was an artist. They designed the first card and sold them for a shilling each. That's only 5p or 8 cents today. But in those days, it was worth much more. The card had 3 panels. The 2 outer panels showed people caring for the poor, and in the center panel was a family having a large Christmas dinner. Some people didn't like the card because it showed a child being given a glass of wine. Let's look at it. Okay, first of all, there's the child given a glass of wine, which technically, water wasn't that good in a lot of places, and wine was considered purer. And here they are helping the poor, and here, which is a great idea to do anytime. Okay, so let's go back. About 1,000, or it might have been less, were printed and sold. They are now very rare and cost thousands of dollars, or pounds, or dollars to buy right now. Excuse me. The original cards were advertised with the slogan, "Just published a Christmas congratulations card," or picture emblematic of Old English festivity to perpetuate kind recollections between dear friends. How Christmas cards became a common Christmas tradition. The first postal service that ordinary people could use was started in 1840 when the first penny public postal deliveries began. Sir Henry Cole helped to introduce the penny post. Before that, only very rich people could afford to send anything in the post. The new post office was able to offer a penny stamp. Okay, I'm going to move it up. Because new railways were being built, these could carry much more post than the horse and carriage that had been used before. Also, trains could go a lot faster. Cards became even more popular in the UK when they could be posted in an unsealed envelope for 1/2 penny, half the price of an ordinary letter. As printing methods improved, Christmas cards became much more popular and were produced in large numbers from about 1860. In 1870, the cost of sending a postcard and also Christmas cards dropped to half a penny. This meant even more people were able to send cards. An engraved card by the artist William Egley, who illustrated some of Charles Dickinson's books, is on display in the British Museum by the early 1900s. The custom... Oh, okay, this is a new sentence. By the early 1900s, the custom had spread I'm sorry, over Europe and had become especially popular in Germany. This is an interesting card. The first cards usually had pictures of the nativity scene on them. In late Victorian times, robins, a British bird, and snow-covered scenes became popular. In those times, the postmen were nicknamed Robin Postmen because of the red uniforms they wore. Snow scenes were popular because they reminded people of the very bad winter that happened in the UK in 1836. Christmas cards appeared in the United States of America in the late 1840s, but were very expensive and most people couldn't afford them. In 1875, Louis Prang, a printer who was originally from German, but who had also worked on early cards in the UK, started mass-producing cards so more people could afford to buy them. Mr. Prang's first cards featured flowers, plants, and children. In 1950, John Hall and two of his brothers created Hallmark cards, who are still one of the biggest card makers today. They also make movies and other stuff too. The first known personalized Christmas card was sent in 1891 by Annie Oakley, the first famous sharpshooter and star of Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. She was pretty wild if you ever want to look her up. She was in Glasgow, Scotland at Christmas 1891 and sent cards back to her friends and family in the U.S. featuring a photo of her on it. She was in Scotland. She's wearing a tartan in the photo. Annie reportedly designed the cards herself, and they were printed by a local printer. And we don't have a picture of that either. In the 1910s and 1920s, homemade cards became popular. They were often unusual shapes and had things such as foil and ribbon on them. These were usually too delicate to be sent through the post and were given by hand. Nowadays, all cards have all sorts of pictures on them: jokes, winter pictures, Santa Claus, or romantic scenes of life in past times. Charities often sell their own Christmas cards as a way of raising money at Christmas. Charity Christmas cards and seals. Charities also make money from seals or stickers used to seal the card envelopes. These customs started in Denmark in the early 1900s by a postal worker who thought it would be a good way for charities to raise money, as well as making cards more decorative. It was a great success. Over 4 million were sold in the first year. Soon, Sweden and Norway adopted this custom, and then it spread all over Europe and to America. There is also a custom that when you receive your first Christmas card with the 3 kings on it, you put it over the front door on the inside, and it will bring you good luck for the following year. Several visitors to the site from Ireland or from Irish heritage in the USA have reported doing this. As well, he must mean this site. So they contacted him and told him that. As well as a Russian visitor to the site. It could also be related to chalk marks for Epiphany put on doors in parts of Austria or Germany, which I don't know anything about, but I might look that up next. Okay, so thank you, James Cooper, for this great site. And then I just want to show you that over on the side here, he's got all these things listed: Christmas traditions and customs. You can just easily click the link if you come to my link and find out any more information on any of this stuff if you desire. Mince pies, I love those. Okay, so, and then these other holidays that are celebrated around that time. There are more, though. So, I hope you have a great time doing whatever you're doing. Oops. This is a good thing to think about. Helping people with less than you have anytime that you can. Sometimes you can just volunteer to help too. You don't have to give money. Okay, grateful for you and here at your service. Bye-bye.